I'm Fatima. I'm from Richmond, BC. I'm your health and beauty social media queen.
Hi guys, I'm Chef Fred. I live in North Vancouver, BC, and I'm a health enthusiast.
Hi everyone, my name is John and I'm in Vancouver and I'm a work from home dad to 2 great kids and married to a wonderful wife.
Hi, my name is Cyrene. I live in Vancouver and my passion is health
Hello
and beauty.
everyone, thanks for joining in. Again, we are continuing with our Healthy Home series, and if you would like a copy of this, you could easily win a copy. All you got to do is like our Facebook page, The Healthy Home Vibes, as well as tag 3 of your friends, share it and comment, and you could be one lucky winner out of 4 of this bestseller. And you can't get it on Amazon, it's completely sold out. So it's a very rare, hot commodity. If you want it, check out our page. So today we're going to be talking about our living spaces. We have spoken about the bedroom, we've spoken about the bathroom, the kitchen, and now we're going to be talking about the living space. And so if you've missed any of our episodes, please go back and check out our Facebook page or our YouTube page. You will be able to see the rest of the series that we have. So in our living space, it's very similar to our bedroom. We have a lot of electronics, we have different furnitures, so what are we really to look out for, and how can we make sure that we're living in our optimal level of health?
In our homes, we tend to keep the window closed because we are not wanting the pollution to come inside the house. Therefore, a lot of people don't realize that indoors is normally more, there's more pollution because in the air, because of all the product that we're using, let's say to clean the countertops, or for the air to smell like mountain air or spring fresh air. So then all these chemicals that are making these scents are in the house, and they just linger and linger. And a good way to get rid of all this pollution inside our homes is to just open the windows and let the air go through and let it out.
Yeah. Yes, for sure. And another, in terms of air fresheners, to get that scent that is very mountain fresh, as Fred was saying, one way that I've actually replaced that is I take essential oils and I put them in a spray bottle and I use that. So then that actually, it's not toxic, and it still gives it a fresher, cleaner, scent without any chemicals. And it's a very inexpensive way to replace the refresheners. Yeah. Or air fresheners, I should say.
What we've done too is it's free as you go outside and you just gather pine needles. Yeah. Pine needles, or you pick lavender out of, like we were growing lavender outside, and that's the reason for it, because I like the smell when I'm in the yard. But yeah, you can go out and pick your own fresh, couple of sprigs of lavender or some pine needles and just put it in a bowl, and it'll freshen up your entire bathroom. And I actually learned that because my mom did it, and I went into her place before I was able to, and her bathroom smelled really nice, and I was wondering what it was, because it's not the potpourri kind of like that really fake flower smell, which is overpowering. Yeah. And she had just basically pine needles that were, she tossed in a couple, what do you call those things? Pine cones?
Yeah.
It looked nice, and it's all natural, and then it dries up in a couple of days, and she replaces it with another one. And I thought that's a great idea. So I started doing that, and then also, the lavender and any other flowers that you have in your yard, just leave it in a bowl and put it in different places of your home. And that's like, it gives, and it's not overpowering. It's a very nice, subtle scent, which is nice.
When I went shopping, I always looked for eco-friendly or organic type of sprays that you can use around your house without feeling kind of guilty about the smells. And usually after cleaning my counter or in the living room, there isn't a scent left, but I still open my window because I want the fresh air to come in.
Yeah, I watched
the flowers, as John was saying, this is a great time to bring the outdoor inside. I love having flowers inside. Like, yeah, you guys know that I'm growing my garden for that very reason, that I can have flowers inside, because I love flowers. Whenever I get a chance and I see a nice bouquet of flowers, I will go buy them because I like the way they look, but also the way they smell, and also how they enhance a room. So these are little tips that you can just, swap out those chemicals that you're using as your air fresheners or whatever, and replace it with something that is very natural.
Mhm.
Another way to actually to offset it is if you're using Himalayan salt lamps. So I don't know if you guys know how those actually work. Do you guys know how those work and what the process of it? So what those do is, so when they're actually plugged in, it's a photosynthesis process. So what they're actually doing is they attract all of the dust and all the toxins and everything. They trap it onto the light, and then in turn they release good oxygen for us.
Really?
So those are great to have in your room. So it's based on the room size. So if it's a smaller room, then you could have a small one. If it's a larger room, then you may want to have 2 or 3, depending on the size of your room. But those are just great. And in terms of lighting as well, they're not so overpowering, and they make beautiful, beautiful, shapes. There's different sizes, different colors. So you can play with that, and of course, if you're not using it, unplug it like any other electronic that you would use, is you want to unplug that. So that's another way to keep your rooms fresh and clean, a very natural way. Like, keep it away from any water because it will disintegrate it, because it is an actual solid.
Right. Also, when you're mentioning about the essential oils, we're using, like, you make your own essential oil mixture and you use that as an air freshener in the bathroom. But I was cleaning the bathroom yesterday and I had to use cleaner to disinfect the tub and the sink and everything. But I had to leave the bathroom fan on for an hour because even though I diluted the solution, my kids are very sensitive to the smell, so they couldn't go in, even though it smelled like lemons. So, even though we love the smell of lemons, we love the taste of it, we love what, lemons are usually fresh, because it was a chemical cleaner, it was overpowering. So, be careful, because some of these things might set off something, but also let the windows, open your windows, let the room air out, and then let your family back in later. So that's what I found, was that things are starting to get to me more, especially if I'm using them at full strength. So I kind of start to wonder what is in it. Because if you just use a regular lemon and you mix it with some, you use lemon to clean, because lemons are actually, you can clean with lemon juice and stuff. What is the artificial stuff?
Yeah.
How did they get that?
Yeah.
So now we've talked about our cleaners and whatever, but there's also like, we have a lot of dust that collects, right? So you got to be on top of that. Like, are you again using those cleaners to wipe down your dust, but then what are you doing to yourself? Or are you naturally, like, are you wiping it with a cloth and picking up the dust?
Well, you have to be very careful, actually, when you're using a vacuum cleaner, because when you're vacuuming, they leach, like, they release some dust into the air afterwards. I noticed that with my vacuum cleaner. So that means that I didn't clean it enough, to start cleaning it. So I have to clean out the filter, make sure there's nothing in there, and then that way it wouldn't, the dust wouldn't come into the air while I'm vacuuming, right?
You can always put like an air filter, like a purifier. If you have carpet, a lot of people still, like, I like carpet in the house versus hardwood floors because it cuts down on the dust. But that's gonna stir up dust as well, especially when you're vacuuming. So getting a air, what do you call those things? The air cleaners, the fans that kind of suck in air, dust, mold, whatever it is. I find that helps as well.
Fred, you're very quiet.
It's because I'm not too knowledgeable about this subject. My vacuum cleaner is, I actually don't remember the filter type, but it is a type that keeps all the dust in, therefore there's nothing that comes out in the air. But it depends also when you talk about vacuum cleaners, it's something to look for is if it traps everything in, you know, because if you go for the cheaper brand, it might be cheaper, but then the dust is out of your carpet, but then it's in the air, and then you'll find a little later that, oh, the countertop's got the layer of dust on it already. So then you do it again, and it's just adding not only work, but you're breathing it in.
Oh, one thing that I didn't touch on was when we renovated the house, the paint.
Yes.
There's I didn't touch on the paint plus the carpet. You know, when you lay new carpet down in your house or you paint the room, it's you know there's a reason they tell you to open the windows, right? Open the windows while you're painting your room because of the off gassing.
Yeah,
there are chemicals in the paint that helps it, you know, whether it's the color or the to help it dry faster or just to kind of give it the consistency. So there are things in it to make the paint what it is, but you know, you still got to be careful to make sure that you air out your room, that you're also, while you're working in there, you're either wearing a respirator or you're well ventilating the area. Because, you know, how many of us have put carpet in our house and it just smells for months, right? Like, yeah, I did that with mine, but you never think about that. But even when the smell is gone, I'm sure there's other things that are still being released over the years, right? And then plus what Fred was saying, when you start vacuuming, now you're actually accelerating it because you're spewing it out into the into your home. So you got to be careful with that as well.
We renovated our bedroom downstairs, and we still have some kind of smell from it, and I can't put my finger on it. So I have to make sure that I'm leaving the windows open in that bedroom, regardless of it being used or not, right?
Yeah.
So for us, like we grew up, we had, our family business was a carpet store.
Oh.
Like carpet. Too bad you didn't, you know, like you hadn't asked me before, but yeah. Yeah, we had that. And so for me, I've been around it my entire life. Like I know, you know, all of that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so you do have to definitely open your windows when that's happening and just let it breathe.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we've been around it, so we've seen the different types of carpets, right? You can see how it's changed over time, and now there's a lot of carpets that are non-allergen, which is great.
Right. We call them,
that makes it so much easier for us as well. But you gotta make sure you're vacuuming it still.
Mm-hmm. I have a question for you. You know how there are certain plants that give out more oxygen. Which ones would you recommend that keeps the air clean?
Just more plants in general. I think just having a lot of plants in your home will do wonders.
Yeah.
They're natural filters. You know, I don't know myself which plants may do more, but it's always nice. I mean, they're nice to have around the house as well.
They do.
You know,
calming effect.
Yeah, and if you have plants that actually have flowers that smell like we were talking about, so you're giving double or triple benefits as well, right?
So sorry, and some of them are actually like the greenier, leafier plants. So like the snake plant is one of them. I can't remember the name of it, but it's like a really big, it's a very big leaf with like, it's green on the outside and then sort of white in the middle. I don't know the name of it, but that's a really good one.
Okay.
And it looks like it's off of a bamboo shoot, because if you look at like the trunk of it, or like the base, it looks like a bamboo.
Yep.
But it's not a bamboo plant.
That's great.
I guess anything that just has a lot of leaves, right?
Yeah.
This area, so.
Because that's also like, I mean, plants, they go through that photosynthesis process, right? So at night they're taking in all the carbon dioxide and turning it in carbon for us, turning it into carbon monoxide for us.
Or oxygen.
Okay.
Yeah, oxygen.
Not everyone can have flowers in their house, because some people are sensitive and has to pollen and all the other things and have allergies, right, to scents. So that's why I thought maybe having some clean plants around would help to optimize the oxygen or the clean air in my living room.
So like some of the plants that you have like outside, the one that's like sort of right on your side here, that's something that you could actually bring inside.
This one? Oh.
Oh, it is inside.
It is inside that one.
It's my baby. We've had this for years. We have to take care of it more though.
Yeah, like I mean, you could have more of those around. Like any of the greenier plant, like you know, like those ones are always better.
Yeah.
Okay.
And now going on to the subject of keeping the house clean.
Yeah.
I've noticed when you go in people's home, a lot of the time they say, "Hey, don't worry, just keep your shoes on."
Oh.
And this is one that I believe that everyone should always take their shoes off when they go somewhere.
Yes.
Because you don't know where that person's been, you don't know where they walked, what they're carrying on their shoes, and even though you say that you might not touch the floor, everybody drops something. Gravity is part of life. The remote goes on the floor, you pick it up, but you walked there before with all these chemicals or whatever it was.
Yeah.
So keep the shoes at the door.
You know, Fred, we didn't know why to do that, but it was a cultural thing. My parents just made sure that when you come into the house, just take them off. Didn't say what it was for, but so we assumed it was culture, you know, and I think it's really big in the Japanese culture too. You leave the
it is the norm in a lot of people's home. You get in the house, you take your shoes off. Even though they say, no, keep them on.
It is actually a cultural thing.
Yeah.
But also here in Vancouver, it's also a status thing. So I've noticed people who are, you know, middle income, they all sort of take off their shoes. But if it's like, you know, like the higher upper class, they don't. It's an interesting thing because they want to show off their shoes because they got an outfit, they got to put that whole ensemble together. The shoes make the ensemble
bling,
go.
bling, bling.
Yeah.
I have a girlfriend who actually lets us keep our shoes on. And I feel uncomfortable because I wasn't raised that way.
Yeah. But also, like if you have pets or kids, I mean, they're crawling on the ground.
Yeah.
They're licking the ground. They're picking things off the ground and they're sticking it in their mouth. So, you know, they're going to be picking up a lot of germs. You know, there's good germs and there's bad germs, but not all germs, not everything.
Yeah.
So,
Like another thing I've actually seen within the Asian culture, and maybe John, you can, is if they go to someone's house or whatever, they'll never go barefoot, but they'll have little booties on.
Yeah.
They're walking around with booties, whereas with us, we go to someone's house, we are barefoot. Like if we're barefoot, or if we've got like the socks on, whatever, but we don't put on another pair of shoes.
Yeah, that's yeah, some homes, you know, you walk in and the homeowner will have a whole slew of like slippers or like those sock covers. And I don't know what that is for, like if it's a culture thing or maybe it's just, you know, a hygiene thing. But yeah, that's getting more popular. So, you know, you have a box of 20 slippers. So if people come over, they just pick the one that they like and, you know.
I have a funny story. You know, at every hotel I stay at, some people collect soaps and shampoos or whatever the case is. I collect slippers. I bring back like 20, you know, I counted like at least 20 slippers, you know, so I have them when people come over. Hopefully you're a size 7. You know?
No.
We have to bring our own. Fred, we got to bring our own.
That's funny.
So yeah, this is weird. I mean, when someone, you know, when I go over to someone's house and it's a party or something, they say, no, leave your shoes on. I'm like, are you sure? And then if you do, everyone else has their shoes on. So then you leave it on because then you'll be walking around with, you know, socks that are gonna pick up germs and stuff. So,
but I think that person's gonna clean up the next day.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
The cleaners come in and
Depends which friends you hang out with, but
Yeah.
yeah, I have a feeling that's not gonna happen.
What's weird is if it's carpet, like that's extra weird.
Oh God.
But
That's
if it's tiles or stuff, yeah, sometimes I do. But if it's carpet and they ask me to keep it on, I'm like, are you sure? Like it's pretty white, right? It's a light colored carpet. So
Yeah, that's like my dad's biggest pet peeve. Do not walk into our house with shoes on because yeah.
But it's a
especially where
habit
the
in many
carpet is.
places.
Sorry?
Like it's a habit. Like at home, it's a habit.
Yeah.
You know, you come home, you take your shoes off. If sometimes you forget to take your shoes off, we kind of go like my son is walking in the house with his shoes on. We're like, "Are you in a hurry?" He goes, "Yeah. Just you know." Otherwise, shoes are off.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's a habit.
Yes.
He doesn't know why either. You know.
Yeah.
So we're going to move forward because again, we can talk forever about shoes and we don't need to be talking too much about shoes right now. The other thing is our electronic gadgets. So what are you guys doing to minimize the EMF that are coming off?
Well, if we're not using
Personally,
it, make sure we just turn it off. But as far as like, I don't have a lot of things that I'm concerned about as far as Wi-Fi is concerned, because it's built into the house. So I'm not too sure how that's going to project the whole house, right? I don't see it, I don't feel it, but I don't know how to turn that off.
That's the trick.
Yikes. Yikes. But one thing I do have a control over is lighting. So, which is I dim the light, make sure all our fluorescent lights are out of the house, and everyone is happy in the end of the day, because Larry hates bright lights, and when he goes to work, he makes sure that he takes out the fluorescent light. He has his own bulb that he brings to work because it affects his mood. He's a lot happier. He's more productive when he does that. Sorry, going off the topic a little bit. Sorry.
That's good. It's lighting. Lighting
Well,
is
lighting, yeah, lighting does help with your health as well and your happiness. So no, it's not off topic.
It's like you go to a hospital or you go to school, or you know, these fluorescent lights.
Oh, it's terrible.
They make you feel not well.
No, especially when they're blinking. Oh my God, I
Yeah,
cannot stand them because that actually triggers a migraine, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm done.
And people have some in their home, and I say get rid of them to be healthier, to be happier.
Yeah, they're saying that going back to just regular light bulbs are probably better than some of these new efficient ones. Yeah, the efficient ones they use less energy, they give off brighter lights and whatnot for much less usage. But they're saying that it's something like the frequency of them, or the way, like the light, the type of light they give off isn't very they don't help with our health. So I'm not sure. Like, I'm still reading up on that, because I switched out all my kids' lights to the new ones in their room because they're in there all so much doing their homework. But then I found out that it's probably not the best, and just go back to the old traditional light bulbs.
I did that.
Yeah, but you can't find them anymore. Like, you can't find too many traditional light bulbs with enough wattage, because they're all trying to be efficient, so they're toning them down. So I have to end up using more lights around the house. No, but going back to the electronics, no, turn off your phone. I turn off my phone to airplane mode, when it's nighttime. So, or just leave them in a different room. I try not to have the phone next to my head on my night table.
Yeah, and just unplug a lot of like whatever you're not using. Like we mentioned earlier with the microwave, even with your kettle. TV, it's a little bit harder just because it's plugged into like your box or whatever, your Wi-Fi. The TV is a little bit harder to do that, but pardon me. Whatever you're not using, just unplug it. Just be
because even though it's not working and it's just plugged in, so these radio waves, it's still in the air. It still crosses our body. It's still bouncing off us. So if you unplug, then it depends how much you believe into it. Because if you do believe into it, you will unplug your TV when you're not using it.
Yeah.
You will go behind your TV and unplug it, because you know that in long term is a detriment to your health.
Any other last comments? All right, well, that's a wrap for this series, or our last video, I should say. We have one more video in our series to go. And if, again, you haven't seen our other series, please check out our Facebook page, The Healthy Wave Vibes, as well as our YouTube channel. You'll find all of our videos there. We are drawing the book, The Healthy Home. You could be one of 4 lucky winners. There's no copies available on Amazon. So if you want one of these, you will have to like our page, which is The Healthy Way Vibes. You will have to tag 3 friends, share it, and comment. And in order to win, you will need to be live on our series. Until then, see you next time. Bye for now.
Bye.